Hey, what's up guys? Chris Selim here from Produce Like a Pro. Now today I want to show you how to use a drum replacement in Cubase 9.5. Now first, I just want to say that I'm happy to be back here on the channel to share with you some Cubase tips for you Cubase users. Now, if this is your first time here, click on the subscribe button below and the notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and don't forget to like and to share this video. Alright, so now let's talk about drum replacement. Now, I have a session here that is not mixed. I just recorded the drums not too long ago, and my recording room is quite small, so what I usually do to enhance the sound of my drums, I'm just going to blend it with some drum samples, usually on the kick and the snare. So this is what we're going to do today. We are going to go and blend the snare and the kick with some samples to enhance our sound. And I'm going to do everything within Cubase without the use of premium plugins and stuff. So everything is done within Cubase itself. First, I'm going to have you listen to what we're going to work on today. So this is the sound of the drum recording we are going to work on today. So first I'm going to work on the snare, okay? So I'm going to double click on that one event. Now I'm not going to do the entire thing. I'm not done with the song yet. I'm just going to show you an example on that one event. So I'm going to double click on that event, and then on the in the inspector window on the left side, I'm going to select the hit points tab. Okay, and now I'm just going to zoom a bit, okay? So I can see my wave better. And now by hitting the hit points, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to play with the threshold, okay? And I'm going to bring my threshold down until I see some hit points. Okay, so if I bring it up, you see the hit points right here. So my goal here is to select all of the snare's hit points, and sometimes, when it's a pop or a rock song, it's a bit easier because most of the time, the drummer plays loud. So if the song is very dynamic, you just need to work a bit harder just to get to make sure you have all the hit points out of the snare track. Next, what I need to do is with the event selected, I need to go and click on Create MIDI Notes. Now I'm going to get to the Convert Hit Points to MIDI Notes window. Now I have the choice between dynamic velocity and fixed velocity. But since this is a rock song, the snare doesn't have a lot of dynamics. So I'm going to select fixed velocity and then put that at 120. That's good. You could put the velocity value you want. Pitch, I am going to leave it at C1. Actually, I'm going to put that at C3, and you will know why after. I'm going to keep the length at 1/8, which is good. I'm going to click on New MIDI Track. That's good. And then I'm going to go down here, and I have, if I double click here, I have my MIDI notes. Now, what I need to do is I need to link these MIDI notes to a virtual instrument. So this is one option I have in Cubase. So if I want to go towards this route, I just go into the on the left side of the project window. I make sure my left zone is activated, and I select a VST instrument, or a rack instrument that you want to use. You want to load your drums and stuff. So like for example, there's a Groove Agent SE I can select. Now the good thing about using a drum VST instrument is you have access not only to the close mic sample, but to the room samples as well, and all the layering. So this is one option, but I'm going to show you another option because I'm not going to use like an entire drum kit, and I'm not going to use several room samples for this song. I just want to use one single sample. So I'm going to close that one up, and there it goes. Now I'm going to use another technique here that I find very useful. Okay, I'm going to go and select the sampler control right here. And I am going to go into the media bay on the left side of my project window. And in the media bay, I have access to all of my samples. And there's one that I kind of like here from that sound. That sounds pretty good. It's this one. Okay, so I'm going to use this one. I'm just going to drag it directly into the sampler. And now Cubase just created a track, a sampler track, where I can just drag the MIDI event into. Now I have my sampler and it's by default on C3, so that's why I selected C3 as MIDI note. Now the first thing I'm going to do here is to click on one shot. Now one shot will make sure the entire portion of the sample is played, even if the MIDI note is shorter than the sample itself. So this way you don't lose the tail of the sample, which is something that is very important in this case, especially when you get a drum fill where all the hits are pretty close to each other. So this way the end tail of the sample is overlapping with the following hit, which makes everything sounds way smoother. So now let's bring that volume down a bit. It's a bit loud. And I'm just going to solo that track. Perfect, so that's cool. So now I have my snare track. And afterwards, when I'm done, I can just convert that into audio, okay, if I want, which is usually what I do. All right, so now let's listen to that with the drums. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, you always need to check your phase, to check the alignment, make sure everything is okay, because from one sample to another, these details can be altered. Okay, so always look at the phase when doing sound replacement, especially when you're blending the sample with the real original drum sound. Okay, so the sample was good. I tried the phase reverse and, the sound got just thinner, so which is not good. All right, so now I am going to work on the kick drum. Okay, so let's do the same for the kick. I'm just going to double click on my audio event, go into hit points, and now if you click on edit hit points, you can actually move some of the hit points if you think they're not at the right place. So that's very practical. So I don't need it for now. Now I'm just gonna make sure my threshold is good and low enough to get all of the hits. All right, perfect. So now I'm going to do the same. I'm going to click on Create MIDI Notes. Fixed velocity, same thing as the other. I don't need to put that on dynamic. And I'm gonna do the same. Put that on C3, same length. That's good. Click on new MIDI track. That's good. I'm gonna unsolo this, and then go back to my sampler, and now I'm going to check for another sample. Let me check here. There's one that I kind of like here from, look at that, Produced Like a Pro drum samples. All right, so let's go with, yeah, I Want Kick. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I'm going to drag this one down to my sampler, and there you go. Again, I'm going to click on one shot. Very important. Perfect. I'm going to drag this down. Call this one Kick. All right, so let me bring these two tracks up here. Bring that down. Going to bring down the volume directly from the sampler so I get a bit more headroom. That's pretty cool. If I remove the samples. So now the snare sample here is already processed. So it's a stereo sample. It's a blend of room and processing and stuff. So that's why it sounds fat and huge, you know. So this is what I get. So this is how I work with drum replacement within Cubase. If you don't have the sampler, if you're using an older version of Cubase, like Cubase 7.5, 7, I think even 8, I forgot when the sampler, which version it came in. But if you don't have access to that sampler, you can do the same technique using a MIDI instrument like Groove Agent, okay, so without using the sampler. The reason why I used the sampler in this case, it's because I'm only working with one single sample per instrument. If I would to work with several samples or an entire drum kit where we have like layered samples and stuff, I would go with the VST instrument like Groove Agent, Battery, Easy Drummer, and so on. And when I'm done, I just convert that into audio before the mix part. So there you go, guys. This is my way of working drum replacement in Cubase. Now, if you have any questions or comments, or if you're not using Cubase and you want to share your technique in your particular DAW, just leave all of your comments below. And if this video was helpful, please click on like and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. And the notification bell, yeah, activate that notification bell. So every time Warren uploads a video, you'll get notified. All right, guys, until next time, see you.